homecoming, people going to be at 1400 Lynch Street, 200 recruits visiting. What more can you ask for? This is DJ's Raw Uncut Truth, giving you the raw content that you deservedly need. I want to thank everyone for sharing the videos, liking the videos, subscribing. Don't forget to hit the notification bell. Since I do not use Instagram or Twitter, the best way to get a notification is hit the notification bell. And every latest video or stream, you'll be able to get. But today's video is about the 200 recruits that are going to visit Jackson State. 200 recruits. This is unprecedented. I don't hear schools like North Dakota State, which is a great team, James Madison, Sam Houston State, Jacksonville State, and so forth. I never heard of 200 recruits visiting those schools. The only time I'm hearing about plus 100, 200, or even more recruits visiting is Power 5 schools. This is an unofficial visit for a lot of recruits, so they're paying off their own dime just to see Jackson State. So the athletes are taking notice, and especially last weekend when JSU put up 61 points. They saw the play calling of T.C. Taylor. They were seeing Coach Prime make adjustments with his staff, things that head coaches are supposed to do. They see the media presence. Every time a player makes a play, good or bad, the media of Jackson State picks up on it. They put it all over social media, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, you name it. They are changing the game. There's going to be a lot of motivation with this matchup with Alabama State. Not only did they mock Coach Prime when JSU went to their place, but they did it in a way to throw subtle jabs. And I get it. Division rivals and heated competition. It gets like that. So what they did was, and I remember this, in the scoreboard, they showed the present picture of Coach Prime, and the other side, they showed the draft picture of Coach Prime, pretty much mocking him. You know, the best way to get revenge is to be the most physical team on that field, to be the most disciplined team on the field. Here's a weakness that Jackson State has, and I noticed this, and I looked at the stats. Do you know that JSU is last in penalties? Meaning they get the most penalties in the whole conference. Some people say it's biases. A lot of people are questioning that they have something against JSU, so they're just calling a bunch of stuff. I don't know if it's true, but that's what fans have told me. A lot of it, and I'm not gonna hold you. I'm not gonna sugarcoat. To be honest, besides that, what's really going on with the penalties is the fact that a lot of the players get antsy, and what it would happen is a lot of bonehead mistakes would happen. Offside penalties for being anxious, not hearing the snap count enough, so you jump and make the defender go offsides, which causes a false start. I see a lot of those. Alignment penalties, things that are avoidable. So what I want to see from Jackson State this weekend is play a clean game. Play a clean game. You have the talent, you have the coaching, you have the quarterback, you have the defense. Play smart, sound football. Like Coach Prime would say, smart, tough, fast, discipline. That's what it implies to. So there's no rush. You'd be amazed how well a team plays when you're not rushing yourself and when you know that plays are going to happen. Plays are going to be there. You just got to be sound. If you're JSU, be patient, be sound. Yards are going to get picked up. Plays are going to happen. Touchdowns are going to happen. Just play within your offense. Let it rip. Defensive-wise, be sound, be sound, be sound. Like I said, I was on Swac Buzz chat when he had the live stream, and we was talking about he was talking about, not we, but he was talking about the matchup between Jackson State and Alabama State. Him and his homie was talking about it. And we in the chat was discussing, what does Jackson State need to work on? And I put in the chat, consistency, 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 consistency. If someone asks the question, what's Jackson State's number one glaring weakness? It's summed up in one word: consistency. They gotta string a few consistent games. I'm tired of seeing half a good game, half a bad game, half a good game. No. You know what you have. You know what the talent you have in this conference. And every fan of every team wants that from their players. That's the number one thing. So when Jackson State truly buys into it, look out. But back to the recruits. Since a lot of visitors will be attending, I want to see some of the best plays, some of the best entertainment. I know the band gonna show up. For the fans of Jackson State, when you see a recruit, show them love. Tell them all the great things about Jackson State. Because even if they don't recruit, here's what they're gonna do. When they have a friend or people they know in the football circuit that's in the recruiting process and they ask about schools, let's say this one talented player didn't recruit to Jackson State but loved the trip. He'll tell a friend who's pretty well recruited and say, hey, I may be attending such and such, but man, I had a good time at Jackson State. You should check them out. This happens all the time. All the time. So the hospitality, I'm for sure, I know the hospitality is going to be A1 down there, especially at homecoming. So continue to show love. And offense, you got to do what you did last week. And I'm very confident in Coach T.C. Taylor. What he does is simplify the game plan, but make it creative. When I say simplify, I mean it in the terms of not doing too much, not being basic, but using common sense in play calling. So you got all these receivers. You got a big offensive line. You got a quarterback in Shadir. He's very cerebral. The common sense thing to do on offense is to let it rip and let the quarterback have say-so. That's what T.C. Taylor is doing. Yeah, he's adding little wrinkles here and there, but they look like a different team with Coach T.C. calling the offense. Night and day. And if the recruits see that, and I know they're going to see it, then all is well. As for Alabama State, they're going to play hard. They got fast linebackers. Secondary, the safeties are hit and miss. Jackson State should definitely take some deep shots in this game. But the linebackers are quick. They're going to try very hard to stop the run, to tackle in space well. The running back is Ezra Gray. You know, he's all about that action. Very talented, explosive back. Now, this is not his best year. Last year was really good. But you can't count him out. He's a big play waiting to happen. And if you're a Jackson State defensive player that played in the spring, this game should be personal. because Ezra Gray was running like Chris Johnson last spring. And for the quarterback position, it seems like they're rotating their quarterbacks. If I'm the Jackson State defense, I'm watching film on all different quarterbacks that played, just in case you don't get surprised by anything. But I'm excited. And here's what Coach T.C. Taylor had to say about having this much talent on his roster.
Maybe the biggest thing, the biggest key to, what was the biggest key to jump-starting the offense? Because I remember Coach Prime saying it was a bit stagnant at times at Delta State. So then what, just from your estimation, what was the biggest key?
Just the energy level and, just the fun factor. When guys are out there having fun and they kind of, playing together and believing the guy next to them, that's half the battle. So, I said, shoot, let's meet together as a unit a couple times so you can know what the guy's thinking. Receivers, you need to know what the O-line is thinking. Quarterbacks, you need to know what the center is thinking. Just getting that kind of things like that, little tweaks like that. And then, we talked about the tempo. We thought we could kind of move and slow at times. And when guys saw how fast we could line up, I thought it kind of helped the run game. It was like pulling teeth to get them to moving fast, but once they seen the results and the production and what we could do by playing with some tempo, it was good for us.
What do you think the key is to making this kind of offensive production more consistent?
Like I tell those guys, you got to understand the opponent, and being able to make an adjustments throughout the football game. But if we, playing in, and we had a good understanding of our opponent. As far as coverage-wise, what they was giving us for this formation, and the kids knew it, and they just went out there and executed. But if they got an understanding what we're going to be seeing defensively, I don't think it's going to be hard for people to deal with us.
Talk a little bit about the play of Shador on Saturday.
He was excellent. He was excellent. Shador is a very even keel type player. You don't get too high, too low. And that's what you kind of want at the quarterback position. He's already, when we're in between series, he's right where I need him. He's not a guy I'm looking for on the sideline, and he brings a lot of knowledge to be a freshman to the game. I don't think how people really realize how smart he is as a quarterback. He sees it, and he goes out there and executes it. So it's times, Saturday, they may have given us something that we didn't expect, and we could make some adjustments on the sideline, and he could go out there and execute it to the fullest. But even kill, that's what I can say about him. Smooth and, just ready to go. Great leader as well.
Any comments about his leadership off the field?
Yeah, definitely. He demands it on and off. If we say meetings, he expects everybody to be there. He's the guy making those phone calls, getting the guys over here in the building, make sure those guys are attentive. And then he does a lot of that on his own with those guys. To be honest, the behind-the-scenes stuff he does with those guys out there throwing balls around with the receivers, whether it's tight ends, he does a good job for it, and it pays dividends on the weekend for us.
What was the exchange like when Coach came to you and said that he wanted you to be the offensive coordinator? What does it mean to you that he has that confidence in you?
Let's go. That's simple. Let's go. It's not. I've done it before, but to have this kind of talent and these kind of weapons around, it made it kind of like, let's go. I was licking my chops. I just know, like, what I tried to do with a group, when you have this much talent, don't make it too difficult. That's the main thing. Allow dudes to go out there and be who they are. And that's how I look at the game, not making it too difficult for players, and just go out there and execute a plan. Whether, you can take 5-6 plays in a game and make them look 10, 15 different ways. And that's what I wanted to do with this group. Just go out there and let players make plays, and that's what you saw. You saw some dudes that hadn't particularly been making plays all year go out there and, made some plays. Malachi. I think he's a big-time receiver. Malachi went out there and, just ran by people all day. Had some other opportunities we missed him on. Some running backs that can really run the ball. JD, Santee, and it was just trying to keep it simple and let them go out there and be who they are. It meant a lot because as a player, we saw it. When I played here, we saw it a lot. And that's what I wanted these guys to know. With like, y'all a very talented group as well. It's not. I mean, we can do that week in, week out, but you know, it's gonna come down to the preparation, like I was talking about earlier. But it was good. It was good. You know, I try not to pay attention to the. It was homecoming over there, not looking at the crowds, and you know, not pay attention to the scoreboard. You know, as long as we're on the field, that's our objective, is to score. You know, I think we ended up punting like twice, so I was kind of disappointed about that, because one of them was a discipline, a couple of them was a discipline issue where we jumped off sides with false starts and stuff. You know, and we shot ourselves in the foot. But for the most part, if we got the ball, my objective is to score.
Coach, was it the fact that it was that they had Jackson State as a homecoming team? Did that add to the score being 6-1?
It was a lot. I'm serious. It was a lot. You know, they were doing some chirping over there. You know, they was doing some chirping, and you know, we still had a bad taste from the spring. You know, we remember what went down from the spring game. We knew what was coming out and what we were gonna put on the field this fall. And then, yes, to add what you're saying, like to schedule us for homecoming like that, now it's getting serious. Now it's getting serious. So we, you know.